What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, I want to thank you all who subscribed to my channel. We're at 300. Actually, we are more than 300 subs, so I really do appreciate that. And let's keep it going. And if you like this content, please consider subscribing. Help me reach 1,000 subs, please. But today's build is gonna be pretty straightforward and pretty easy. This is a custom build. One of my coworkers requested one, and I'm just gonna go over the parts real quickly and get to it. So he likes the two-tone, kind of like a gold and black style watches, and he requested basically a gold one with a strap, right? So I did a strap review a couple of videos ago, so if you want to check that out, please do so. But again, this is gonna be straightforward. I got these gold hands. These are, I believe, AP style hands. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. And a little bit of a different kind of what do you call it? The movement. So I went with. I mean, it is still NH35, but this time I went with the black and gold calendar indicator. And this one actually cost $46, which was kind of insane if you ask me. But you know, it is what it is. And of course, the black and gold dial, which looks really nice. So, and of course, like I said before, the straps are black as well. So yeah, I guess let's dive into it. So like I said before, first and foremost, you want to make sure that the movement is working. You just want to wind it a little bit, and let's see if it's moving. Come on now. There we go. So it starts moving, so you know that the movement is working. And of course, when you order these, make sure you order the 3 o'clock. The crown, sometimes it comes at 3.8. But anyways, like I said before, the first step is to get your dials stems trimmed, right? These little stems here. So I like to double check, make sure they line up perfectly. I already know which ones I want to cut, but just to make sure that they line up perfectly. This one, see, this one only has 2 on each side, and this one's bent, which is no big deal. It's easy to bend them back, but don't do it too much, otherwise you risk of breaking them. But some of them have 3, some of them have just 2 on each side, some have 3 on each side. So just double check, make sure that they're lined up perfectly, and then cut them. So once you cut all your stems, you want to make sure that the movement's nice the dial is nice and flat. Make sure there's no gaps. It's looking pretty good so far. All right, moving on to the hands. So like I said before, these are I believe AP style hands, and this should be straightforward. Again, just make sure that these hands are the right side up, because it's easy to get them confused. So you see at the flat white bottom, that's basically the bottom. And of course, if you flip it over, this is the top. So just make sure that you don't put them upside down. So of course, before you set the hands, you want to make sure that you're at midnight and rotate the hands. And it's looking like already at midnight, so that's pretty good. So once it clicks over, you know you're at midnight. All right, so that's set. I'm gonna put my hour hand first. Okay, so after you put on the hour hand, you want to make sure that nothing rubs or scratches or interferes with the hand. And let's see where the midnight clicks over. Sometimes they click over sooner than later, sometimes later than sooner, but so far this looks pretty good. Okay, so maybe slightly off by a couple seconds, but I think it's looking pretty good. So yeah, moving on to the minute. Okay, so the minute hand was pretty straightforward. Again, it was no big deal. You want to make sure you double check everything, make sure it doesn't interfere with the hour hand. It's looking pretty good. And I'm going to move on to the minute hand, or the second hand. Now, the second hand is, you can place it wherever you like. I usually do it at 6 o'clock, but you can do it wherever you want. But yeah, let me just double check, make sure that to see what the midnight clicks over. Okay, so about a minute after, which is, I mean, this is typical. Sometimes I've seen some of them take 15 or 10 minutes early. Sometimes I take them 5 minutes late. So this is pretty normal. No big deal. Moving on to the second. Okay, so I finally got the seconds hand on there, and I did have to adjust it a little bit. And the way I adjust my hands is, it's kind of hard to show you on the camera, but basically I'll take the, in this case, the seconds hand was rubbing against the mini hand. And then what I was doing, I was taking my tweezers and I would lightly pull up on the, like I'll get my tweezers under the second hand and I'll pull up a little bit so it bends back up. And that works pretty well. Again, you don't want to go too crazy with the bend. Just you want to have enough clearance so that way it just, you know, passes through without touching. Again, just get it under and just lightly just push up on it so it bends back upwards. And that fixed the problem. And yeah, it's working pretty well. So next step is going to be basically adjusting the stem, trimming the stem, and then of course clean the case, put it all together, and then of course the straps. So I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna do the stem next. Okay, so as you clearly see, the case, or not the case, I'm sorry, the stem is a little too big for the case. So obviously I'm gonna have to trim it, and the way you do it is you get your measuring tool and you just measure the distance between the stem and the case. Usually it's 8 millimeters, sometimes 7.7. This one looks like it's 8.1. So I'm gonna cut it to 8, maybe even 7.9. That way, I like to be a little bit more conservative or whatever, so that way I have enough room to trim it even more. But and if I don't know if I've ever told you this, I think I have. But the way to take this crown off from the case or from the movement is you're gonna see this. Where's my tweezers? There is this little button right here where my tweezers are pointing at. You press down and you pull, it will come out. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and of course I'm gonna put some Loctite on the stem so it doesn't unwind accidentally. But yeah, so here I marked it with my Sharpie. If my camera could focus, there we go. I marked with my Sharpie right here. That's the area I'm going to cut. Now, like I said before, I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter or longer, so that way I have some room to play around with. Once you cut it shorter, there's no going back. You're gonna have to get on the stem. So I'm gonna cut it right on the black mark, and then we'll go from there. Of course, you want to run this off with a sandpaper or a file. So I'm gonna do that right now. So you can clearly see after I trimmed the stem, there's a gap, and you don't want that. You want to be a little bit closer. It looks like another millimeter. So I do have to grind it a little bit more. Unfortunately, all I have is a filer, so it does take a little bit of time. But yeah, you don't want to have that gap because it doesn't look very good. And also there's a gasket inside this crown, so it prevents the water from coming inside. So yeah, I'm gonna trim down a little bit more. And by the way, I really love the Explorer style case. This is one of my favorite cases. But yeah, moving on. And there you have it, guys. Like I said, it's perfectly fit. You want to have some play between the crown and the actual screw down part, and you want to make sure that when you wind the watch, make sure you're not screwing down at the same time. And now you just press it in and screw it in, and there you have it. I think this looks perfect right here. Maybe just a little bit tiny more, but I don't like pushing it like that just because of the fact that if you do it too much, the what do you call it, the keyless work won't work properly. I mean, it will work, but in the sense that you won't have what do you call it, enough room to kind of adjust and readjust, so to speak. So when you pull it right like that and then push it in, it won't work properly, so it won't push it all the way in. So this is perfect. I like this, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna put some Loctite on here, and clean the case and then get these straps. Okay, so while that's curing right there, I'm gonna work on the case. I'm gonna get this out, clean it with a, like I said, alcohol wipe, not alcohol wipe, sorry, the Q-tip with alcohol, rubbing alcohol in it, and of course my handy dandy lens pen. Okay, so both the case and the actual dial is looking pretty clean, and of course one last step is put this back all together. I do have to clean this back case as well because it is clear, and I do have to loop the gasket, so I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so I did the review on these straps a while back and a couple videos ago, but I'm not gonna go too much in detail on these straps. But just so you know, these are cheap. These are cheap straps. These are, I think they cost me about 17 bucks. These are quick release, which I do like quick release a lot. It is genuine leather. I think it's cow leather, but they are very, very thin, as you can tell. I just wish they had a little bit more oomph to it, you know what I mean? A little bit more thickness, you know what I mean? But 17 bucks, this is fine. This is works just fine, you know? I would not put this on a high-end watch, for sure, definitely not. But something for like this, or even if you have like a watch that's like a daily driver, so to speak, and you want to get new straps, this is perfectly fine. But just so you know, this is thin. This is very thin. And by the way, I just realized that I did these wrong. This supposed to be on top and this supposed to be on the bottom. So let me just switch those out real quick. And there you go, guys. Nice little two-tone with the black and gold with a black strap. I'm not gonna try this on because I want him to, you know, be the first one to wear this watch. But this turned out to be really, really nice. I mean, the color combination is phenomenal. You know, with the gold buckle as well. And then, like I said, these are quick releases, which are super convenient. Overall, this was pretty straightforward build. Like I said, the only problem that I had was with the second hands, adjusting a little bit. It was rubbing against the minute hand, but overall, this came out really, really well, and I'm super happy how it turned out, and I cannot wait to give this to him. I'm sure he'll enjoy it, but honestly, that's all I got for the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please comment down below. I'll leave all the parts and then I guess, well, all the parts in the description below. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.